She's now being seen by the gullible public to be slowly corroding our traditions away, diluting the historic significance of the honours list. Our traditions, which is now obviously quality controlled by the Jewish Zionist regime, literally handing out to individuals who fit the politically correct narrative. This makes sure it encompasses the degenerate world of pop scat, football corporate bozos or paedophile DJs, and even obscure foreigners from distant lands, and the manufacturing Jamaican poetic characters to refuse such offers from the Queen to gain the ideological underpinning. Victim story to continually loop for public consumption, platforming through the tabloid and media as a noble cause, when in reality it is to elevate the urban rap star intellectuals on political programs for their Marxist opinions. Like there's never been any African slaves in England or Great Britain or pretty sure Europe since like Roman times or something, but the blacks will constantly go the slavery route to sort of shame British, but it's all fueled by the Jews who actually ran the slave trade, but the blacks don't call out the Jews because it's not politically correct to do that. Anyhow, take these cherished figures out of their cotton wool comfort zone and ask yourself, what have these regime ambassadors ever achieved or contributed without the race card or corporate jack-up? It is the ideology who benefit long-term from all this. It's all part of their artificial social construct to create and elevate multicultural, multiracial social heroes, to mislead and Pied Piper the public in one direction, while turning the tradition and significance of the honours list into a satirical Blue Peter badge. Christmas, Easter and other significant Christian festivals and celebrations have been relegated to politically correct happy holidays status, while introducing Marxist Labour Days, Black History Month, Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, Gay Pride and even MOBO Awards. More is done to encourage our so-called guests, as well as open all borders Marxism, internationalism, while even more is done to corrode away our pride, bonding traditions and moral fabric of our country. Yet ask yourself, what culture ultimately benefits long term from this manufactured social construct, which is basically modernism, or what they've made of modernism to pry us away from our cultural roots, our heritage, our legacy. Basically, we're a living legacy and we're being removed from that by this Jewish-led modernistic approach. This immoral community of swindlers who are inherently desolate of compassion but thrive on victim status, who swear loyalty to Israel and less than none to our nation or other host nations, who by birth have dual citizenship, a liar, but historically have been banished from many countries throughout time from their criminality, or for their criminality, and still they press on, and even faster since the introduction of their Marxist doctrine and the politically correct mantra, which has individuals of the occupied host nation viewing the parasite as victims, which helps the Jewish Zionist regime persistently advance. So that was the cancer chapter. Now, baiting. The Jewish Zionist conception is to socially construct certain groups within the West via the divisive methodology. Feminism is a good example, as its wolf cry of equality for woman socially separates the white man from the white woman, a pairing that nature designed to be biologically and psychologically different to complement each other, i.e. natural. The idea is then to identify victim groups, elevate and put them in control. Such groups are susceptible, which are even the minority groups, they control the majority. Such groups are susceptible and more than willing to conform to the common purpose Frankfurt School leadership skills once given lucrative inducements. And oftentimes they are benevolent causes, but like they're elevated to become like the majority causes, and they're actually, minority causes, and the majority is removed out of the equation. The minority causes get the majority funding, and there's no actual momentum for those funds, so they're often in a surplus or struggle to spend it, in proper ways, because actually most of the funding should have been going to the majority, because the majority also needs funding, and everything just gets deliberately mismanaged. Controlled obsolescence, I think, is the word or the phrase. Sometimes the media pathetically drop hints pointing out how multi-ethnic integration of all these alien cultures flooding into Europe has failed. It has not failed, it worked exactly as the ideology of Jewish Zionism planned, because they have achieved the exact result they set out to achieve, and that is culture clash against each other, divide and rule, division is unity for Jewish Zionism. Like in Britain, there are massive Pakistani communities, Indian communities, Jamaican communities, Nigerian communities, Polish communities, Irish communities, Spanish, Italian. So there is a fair section. Chinese communities as well. There's a Koreatown, there's a Japanese town. It's got its fair whack of foreign entities. But the thing is like, who's elevated? I don't think there are as many. For example, Irish or white, Polish or other white European people, immigrants who come through the political spectrum, as there are, for example, non-white European, like Asian. There's definitely loads of Asian MPs, and African / Caribbean, and most Caribbean people are mixed. They're never sort of fully African, so a lot of them won't claim to return to Africa, and that's where they become like involved in the Kalegi sort of plan as mixed race people. But if you look at Jamaica and China, the Jamaicans are fuming over what's going on over there. Obviously other Caribbean countries, Dominican Republic, Cuba, where was Haiti, where they actually killed all the white people, and then it turns in, I think the UN had to invade, because after the white people were gone, it just turns into desolation. So there's a lot of big problems. Like, there's no direct flight from Britain to British Virgin Islands, where there's 40 paradise islands, and yet British people haven't got a direct flight there. I would have thought that it would be well in the interests of the government to, provide direct flights to all of those islands and give the British people like a holiday home in the Caribbean, that they could rotorize, like timeshare type thing. That was a brilliant idea, but no can do, Mr. President. So, it's not failed. And neither left nor right wing. It is Marxism which is labelled common sense politics right wing. Left and right is purposely platformed this way, neatly packaged to Jewish Zionism to psychologically challenge the masses, to identify what is good and what is bad. Everything is predetermined for us. Left wing is a code for Marxism. I tend to think that maybe this writing's old, from 2013, because right wing politics is conservative and has merit, but I think also that the production value